What's up, guys, and welcome to the channel. Today we want to talk about the Godzilla vs. Kong movie. It is finally out. You can watch it on HBO Max. You can go to a movie theater. It's up to you. It's whatever your personal preference is. I actually watched it on HBO Max. It was just a lot easier for me to do that. Not many theaters are open by me right now. So, just so I can clarify, this is going to be 100% a spoiler review. So if for some reason, guys, you have not got a chance to watch the movie, tune out of the video, come back later, and then you can see how I felt about it. I just don't want to spoil anything. I want everybody to see this movie and not have any big moments ruined for you. So again, if you have not watched the movie, get out, come back later. This review will be here. Don't worry about it. So, first and foremost, I just want to say, I loved it. I loved every second of this movie. There's nothing about this movie that I hated. This movie was friggin' awesome. I'm going to be doing a ranking video too as well, so you can see where Godzilla vs. Kong ranks within this franchise. Excuse me. So if you guys have watched my last ranking, you guys know that I really love all the MonsterVerse movies. This is probably my favorite cinematic universe. I think this is the best one for me. This is the one that is the best for me. So the movie starts out, with Godzilla attacking an Apex facility, and we don't know why. And something's really aggravating Godzilla. So they're already kind of setting up the fact that Godzilla is like this villain, right? Which I love, and I love the fact that when Godzilla comes, you hear his music, and it's very dark, right? It's very menacing. It's not happy, they're definitely painting the picture of Godzilla being this villain. And then, on the other hand, we have Kong on Skull Island, and Skull Island is basically destroyed, right? It's being overtaken. So Kong's in this facility that he's realizing isn't real, right? He's in this dome, and he's starting to understand hey, this isn't home. So Kong's struggling. So how things are set up, basically they have Kong in here to be shielded from Godzilla, because if Godzilla senses Kong, Godzilla will come after him, because they keep hinting at the fact that there's a possibility of an ancient rivalry between the two. So they meet this doctor. He's an expert in Hollow Earth. The company Apex, they want to help him get to the Hollow Earth for, they want to find an energy source. So he gets together with a colleague, and the colleague is like a foster mother almost to the girl Gia, who Gia has a special connection with Kong. So they end up moving Kong to head him to Antarctica, where they believe the opening of the Hollow Earth is there. And this is where we get to the point where you can see in the trailer, that scene with the aircraft carrier. This is what happens. They're literally trying their hardest to stay out of open water, to stay out of the waters that Godzilla is in, because they don't want Kong to have to face Godzilla. And Godzilla is kind of conflicted in this film, which I think is really cool, because he's pissed off at Apex because there's something that they're doing that is throwing him off. He senses something, so that's upsetting him, and then he senses Kong. So Godzilla's double pissed. He's just not a happy camper in this film. So the first fight is an awesome fight between the two, but the first round goes to Godzilla, which is fine with me. It was expected, but I will say this, Kong is definitely the heart of this movie. This movie is definitely more, I think this is more of a Kong movie than it is Godzilla. Godzilla's more of like I said, he's more of a villain, and Kong's the hero of the film. So you follow Kong more than you follow Godzilla, which is okay, because Kong only had one movie. He only had Skull Island in the universe, so to see more of Kong, and to actually, they build up that you want to see him do well against Godzilla. You just want to. So, on the other hand, there's another story going along for Team Godzilla, which is Madison Russell, this kid Josh, and then this guy, he's a conspiracy theorist, and he does a podcast named Bernie, who I thought was the best character of the movie out of the human characters. I really liked Bernie a lot. I thought he was really funny in it, But he also, he kind of knew his stuff at the same time, although he was funny. So they're trying to figure out what's Apex up to. And through the process, you start to realize that Apex is developing this guy right here. They're developing Mechagodzilla. And one of the scenes I like is that they end up getting to Hong Kong, and that's where they have Mechagodzilla. And one of the cool scenes about Mechagodzilla is that they actually are using skull crawlers as like test subjects for Mechagodzilla to fight. And he like just destroys it with ease, right? And you find out what's controlling Mechagodzilla besides a human pilot. It's kind of like Pacific Rim, but they're using the Ghidorah head from the end credits of King of the Monster. So Godzilla, so now then we start to understand like Godzilla's upset because he senses Ghidorah, which obviously him and Ghidorah have a really big rivalry, and then he has his other foe that's been has a rivalry like that's ancient, right, with Kong. So Godzilla's double pissed. So Godzilla's on his way to Hong Kong. And why Godzilla's on his way to Hong Kong to destroy another Apex facility because he senses Mechagodzilla, who he thinks is Ghidorah. But that's the thing, like Ghidorah basically, like the director's kind of said, Ghidorah haunts this film, and he does. Like Ghidorah basically still haunts Godzilla to this day, right? So so then we go back to Kong. Kong gets to go to Hollow Earth. And the Hollow Earth scene is awesome. I hope we get a Kong 2, and we get to see more of the Hollow Earth. And when we got to see Kong fight the Warbat, that was really awesome. So, you know, like they're in the Hollow Earth, they're flying around with their heaves, and the Warbat just takes out a heave. And then they're about to go after the main heave with the main cast in it, and Kong just grabs the tail and throws it and just literally just puts a rock through the friggin' Warbat's head, and then uses the dead body as a weapon to the other Warbat. And Kong does pretty well against it. He did need a little bit of help from the heave, because the Warbat was literally like suffocating Kong, which was like such a cool scene. It was really nice to see, because like Kong just had a pretty tough fight against Godzilla, so it was nice to see Kong get a win with the Warbat. And then after Kong just decimates this Warbat, I thought it was so cool that you literally see him like rip the head off of the Warbat and eat the head, which was really cool. I'd like to see like one of the things I really like about these movies is that they really take like animal instincts into account, right? Like it's not guys in suits anymore, so they can do that. Like even the fight between Kong and Godzilla is very animalistic, right? It's not like pro wrestling and guys in suits, which obviously there's a nostalgia factor to it, but these fights these are unbelievable. Every fight in the Monsterverse is just incredible. So, once Kong gets the Hollow Earth, you got, like, remember in King of the Monsters, you get to see Godzilla's lair. Well, now we got to see the Kong ancient family lair, right? Like, there's a throne that Kong sits on. That's when you get to see the axe, which you actually find the axe embedded into what looks like an old dead Godzilla. So you see Kong take it out, and this axe is like one of the best weapons for fighting Godzilla, because it's a dorsal plate of Godzilla, and the dorsal plate can withstand the energy of the atomic breath. So, and it's also the axe takes energy from the core of the Hollow Earth. So as Godzilla's in Hong Kong, he senses Mechagodzilla, but he also senses the dorsal plate. So Godzilla literally just gets the atomic breath and just puts a hole from the earth all the way to the bottom of the friggin' Hollow Earth. It was such a cool scene. So then him and Kong, they're going at it in Hong Kong. And this is where Kong gets the best of Godzilla. In the first part of this fight, I think Kong won this round. So out of the 3 fights, they're both neck and neck. So then you finally get to like the final battle between these two, and Godzilla whoops some ass. He really does. I mean, Kong puts up a hell of a fight, but there is a definitive winner. You know, Godzilla won this fight. I mean, to the point where Kong's dying. Godzilla just like claws his chest and like leans over, and, like basically steps on his chest, like crushing his heart, to the point where Kong's done. Kong is absolutely done. So Kong is unconscious, barely clinging to life. And this is where things start getting even crazier when, you know, you got Team Godzilla with Madison, Joss, and Bernie. They're in Apex facility, and, you know, you got the leader of Apex you know, giving like his villain speech, and in the villain speech, you know, they took the energy from the core that they got from Kong's lair as the final piece for Mechagodzilla. But the problem is that piece just gave Mechagodzilla all control. Like basically, like, it's like Mecha Ghidorah now, right? Even though it's Mechagodzilla, but Ghidorah's skull takes over. There's no one piloting him. It's just like the mind of Ghidorah. And he kills the leader of Apex in the middle of his villainous speech. Even the guy Bernie kind of makes a joke like, "Oh, I can't even hear can't hear him finish the speech." And then Mechagodzilla comes out and just wreaks havoc on Hong Kong, and he puts a beating on Godzilla. I mean, literally, like this was like if this is the final MonsterVerse film. If this is the last we're gonna get, it was nice for them to end it with something as big as Mechagodzilla. Like this, to me, could be like a Thanos level event, right? If you want to compare it to like the Endgame, you know, of the Marvel franchise, of them all leading up to their fight with Thanos. This is it, man. This is the fight. You know, Godzilla, Kong, and Mechagodzilla, and Mechagodzilla is beating Godzilla, and Kong's out. So you got Team Kong, you know. This was Alexander Skarsgård and Gia and then Rebecca Hall. They're there and they figure out that they basically use the heave and like as like a defibrillator and wakes Kong up. And the little girl, I love that. I love any time the little girl and Kong interact. It's such a cool moment. And she just sells it that you see it in the trailer and it's like, be careful. And like and she lets him know like Godzilla is not your enemy. And Kong helps. And it was so cool to see. Like, I never thought in my life I'd ever see King Kong fighting Mechagodzilla. I just didn't. And Godzilla and Kong team up, and they're throwing down with Mechagodzilla. And I gotta be honest, if Kong didn't step in, I think Mechagodzilla would have really, would have probably killed Godzilla. Because, like, it leaves it off with, like, remember with in 2014 Godzilla, when Godzilla opens the Muto's mouth and atomic breaths down the Muto's throat? Well, that's what Mechagodzilla is about to do to Godzilla. And Kong came in and just started wailing on Mechagodzilla, and then they tag team it. And then, like, Kong's about to get impaled by Mechagodzilla's tail, and Godzilla hits the axe with the axe of the atomic breath, and Kong just unloads and literally cuts the arms off and decapitates Mechagodzilla. So, although it was teamwork, it was kind of cool. Like, they let Godzilla win the fight between the two, but they let Kong win. They let Kong finish the fight with Mechagodzilla, so it's kind of cool to see that. And then the movie ends, you know, you remember the famous line in the trailer when like Kong bows to no one, like they're not gonna, like neither one of these guys are gonna submit, they're not gonna give up. Well, Kong's again, remember, Kong just had to be brought back to life. And Godzilla's coming back, so Kong stands up and he's ready to fight again, and then you just see him kind of contemplate, and he drops the axe. And Kong basically, like, he didn't bow down, but he conceded to the fact that, you know, you won, man. Like, Kong's not gonna fight, especially after Gia told him, like, Godzilla's not your enemy. So, I just thought it was all so perfect, and you see this beautiful image of Godzilla turn his back on Kong, you see Kong in the distance, and Godzilla walks out into the water, and it's almost like they had mutual respect for one another. Godzilla rides out into the sunset, and then there's a final scene where you see Kong finally making home in the Hollow Earth. He's got his buddy Gia there still. They got the Monarch team keeping an eye on him. And Kong's happy. He has a home because Skull Island isn't inhabitable anymore. So I gotta be honest, man, like this movie was it was everything I could have possibly wanted in a film. Like, I love Godzilla, I love Kong, I love the MonsterVerse so much. All four of these films I can honestly say I love, and I think all four films are 10 out of 10. So, in my next video, I will do a ranking so you guys can see like where these films stack up to one another. You know, I highly, highly, highly recommend watching this film. I've already watched it twice, I'm gonna watch it again today. I will say, yeah, does it suck you can't see it in theaters, of course, but the idea that I get to watch this movie as many times as I want for the next month at my comfort of my home is amazing. I'm literally going to watch this movie every day for the next month. That's how much I love it. The pacing was great. I saw a lot of people complaining that, you know, an hour and 45 minutes wasn't enough time. I think it was a perfect amount of time. I think it made them kind of get with the film, you got to the action. You know, it's definitely more Kong than it is Godzilla. But the scenes you do get of Godzilla, like, are just so badass, and you really start to feel for Kong. Like, Kong, like I said, is definitely the heart of the film. And I feel like, although they allowed Godzilla to win, I feel like at the end of the day, it was a win for all of us, because Kong Kong did get a win against Warback. Kong beat Godzilla in one of the fights, and then he got to do the finishing blows to Mechagodzilla, but still allowing Godzilla to come out victorious as the king of the monsters, the way it should be. So, like I said, guys, I really love the film. I hope you guys who have seen it loved it as well. If you didn't love it, let me know down below. And if you did love it, let me know down below. Let's get a discussion down there. You know, a nice, good discussion about Godzilla, Kong, and the Monsterverse. You know, I don't know where we're going to be with movies, but I do know that, you know, Legendary does have a Netflix anime series for Kong Skull Island coming out. So we do know the Monsterverse is continuing in some way or shape or form. But the best thing you guys can possibly do if you want to see more of the Monsterverse is watch the living hell out of this film. Watch it as many times as you possibly can on HBO Max, or go to the theaters. Whatever way you could see it, that you're paying for it and you're watching it legally, do it, because as fans, we want to see more of this. We don't want this not to make money. We want Legendary to go to Toho and negotiate a whole other deal of why they should keep Godzilla for another X amount of years, and not just let the rights revert back to Toho where we don't get to see any more Godzilla. Now, don't get me wrong, we can still see Kong, and that's all fun and dandy, and I'm fine with if they want to go that route of just giving us Kong, but it would feel empty without Godzilla. So guys, watch this movie. You know, give it a lot of positive vibes. This is an extremely positive review. I don't have any negatives about this film. Literally everything about this film was everything I would have wanted. You know, it was just, in my opinion, it was perfect. It was a great monster film. So I hope you guys like this review. I hope you guys like this video. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.